It would appear that we made it to February 12th, and we're talking about early beer breweries in El Paso, live on KTSM, AM 690 in El Paso, streaming live on YouTube channel and our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. We are doing that, right?
Yes, we are.
Oh, you think so?
I blew in just for the show this morning.
We know we had a thumbs up about that. Anyway, Texas history begins in El Paso. Melissa.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's windy and chilly out there. I'll tell you what, you'd think it was winter.
Well, El Paso for us, this is a winter, but somebody out there in the
real
across
world,
the country, they think this is a spring day. I mean, I know people in Maine,
Alaska,
the people in Colorado.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot warmer here, but it is chilly for us, though. Hey, I want to remind everyone that people can find us streaming live on the internet at ktsmradio.com, where you will then click on the iHeartRadio link and join us anywhere you are in the world.
I got a history moment going?
Yes, we do. And since our topic today is about beer, I think hearing about saloon etiquette might be appropriate.
That's going to be interesting because beer is the main common denominator, what we're doing today.
Yeah.
And we want to welcome into the radio show here, Rich Chavez. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, and thank you for having me.
Indeed.
Morning, Rick.
Good to be here. Just take a deep breath or two and think about this. It's going to be an interesting thing because you wrote a book about the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company, and that's just the beginning. Why don't you give us also maybe pre-prohibition breweries, maybe some bottling companies? Give us the scope of what you think we are going to be doing.
Well, basically, we're going to be talking about El Paso Brewing and breweries here in El Paso, and we're also going to touch up on El Paso soda companies. This is all going to be pre-1970, from pre-prohibition all the way up to basically 1970, ending with the Falstaff Brewing Corporation.
And when we get to beer at the moment, we might ask Andrew to chime in because he knows about that. What's going on?
Andrew knows about beer.
You do know about that, right?
Not your baby boy.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, he's bigger than that now. Go ahead, Rick. Tell us what you would like to tell us.
Well, basically, when everybody thinks about beer, it's always a guy in a T-shirt sitting in his easy chair, watching television, belching and drinking a sip of his beer.
Oh, my goodness.
But that is so far from the truth. El Paso has a deep and rich history of El Paso breweries. And basically, this all started pre-prohibition, which is the 18th Amendment. This is all about turn of the century, 1900, of course. And there's just so much to talk about as far as that. Just to give you a little example, back in 1899 to 1904, there was the El Paso Brewing and Ice Company. They went as far as groundbreaking. They tried to get stock in the company, but they were a non-producing company at the end. 1900 to 1902, it was the El Paso Brewing Company, not to be confused with the Paso Brewing Association. They operated from 1900 to 1902. Again, it was short-lived. They tried to get some people to invest in the company, didn't materialize. From 1903 to 1905, it was the El Paso Brewing Association, and this is the first corporation, the first attempt at the El Paso Brewing Association. They really did their homework. They had investors. They went the whole 9 yards. But again, due to financial troubles and unforeseen problems that they didn't expect, they eventually sold the company. And that's when, in 1903, another group of investors came around, and they operated from 1903 to 1905. Then in 1905 to 1924 is when the brewery really started gaining history with the El Paso Brewing Association. The building is still standing. It's off Alameda between Stevens and Lotta Streets, right by the railroad tracks. And
is that the one we had a picture on Facebook of?
Yes, yeah, that is the one.
And there it is.
And believe it or not, that brewery is still standing, and it also became the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company after Prohibition. And then the Falstaff Brewing Corporation took over the same building in the same location.
We want to thank Woody Bear for some of the pictures that we've been using on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he is right up there with you. Maybe not as far as, I don't know, which is, you both have a lot of stuff about Mitchell.
Woody's collection is just
Amazing.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's been a friend for years and years, and he's also interested in the El Paso Railroad.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I salute Woody for what he has brought to the show and for just in history of brewing companies in general.
There's a lot of people like that. I mean,
Yeah.
Melissa and Bernie, they do a lot of Six Gun stuff, and then we're doing history of the weekend. There's a lot of people individually.
Yeah, the people don't even realize they're out there until they get on the show, and then they're amazed at how many people have an interest in the history of El Paso and just history in general.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for Rick, though. You know, you talked about there were failures in the beginning of trying to start. I mean, beer settled the West. And that was part of it if you think of the reality. What were the shortages or problems that they were having? Just couldn't get, anything in, or
Supplies or what?
Supplies?
Supplies was a major part of it. Basically getting the support. As you know, with most saloons and stuff like that, they were already established at the
Mhm.
time. So in order for them to take over their customers, they needed to have them jump on board. And
What were the saloons serving if it wasn't this stuff that these guys were making?
Well, a lot of it was basically there was a beer out of St. Louis called Lemp. Believe it or not, even Budweiser at the time, they came around in the 1800s, and they were a major source because due to railroad
The
transport.
railroads brought them in.
And Anheuser-Busch has a deep history, but somehow El Paso built it off that in a sense. And there was other ones. There was Schlitz, out of Milwaukee, and
Well, maybe Mexico also. Was there beer coming across from Mexico?
Mexico had its own issues as
Mhm.
far as producing beer and stuff, but they were very strong. But in their own country, they had their own following.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Mexico had that later in the years that of course the United States didn't have, including El Paso, was a thing called the Prohibition or the 18th
Oh,
Amendment.
that was in their favor, big time.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So they didn't skip a hitch at all. As a matter of fact, I'll be touching up later. A lot of El Pasans really wasn't affected by Prohibition at all either, because they just quickly
Yeah, we jump over the bridge.
went over to
Over to
Yeah.
Senator Teresa over by the places over there. Yeah.
And there wasn't the issues as there is now in Mexico, and it was an interesting time in history, especially with El Paso.
Wow.
Well, pick up your history here. We'll have to
Okay.
get back to your narrative that you want us to know.
Okay. Now there's a lot of confusion. Most of this has come from the old El Paso Herald Post and the El Paso Herald and then the El Paso Times. But there's also some information about Chihuahua Brewery, but it wasn't too sure if that was El Paso, Texas, or was it located in El Paso, Juarez, which of course during that time, it's before the city was changed to Juarez, Mexico. It was called El Paso del Norte,
Right.
and sometime in history, which is interesting in itself, there was a El Paso, Texas, and an El Paso, Mexico, and there's a lot of information that's you can't really understand if it was in Mexico or in the United States with the brewery. So that's that one has to be cleared up. But there just is enough information listed out there that we can do that.
Melissa,
at
do you
this-
know when the name changed to what is? I don't have that.
It was after it was named for what is the president of Mexico, and I'm trying to think when that changed. It was I'm sure somebody will call in and correct me. I'm going to say the 1860s.
Yeah, it'd been El Paso del
I'm
Norte.
terrible with dates.
But I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, I know tidbits, but dates really.
But anyway, so it became Juarez at some point. So Rick Chavez, talk to us again about where you're headed.
Okay, and then right after that, then came the 18th Amendment. Prohibition took effect in the United States. There was no making of any product that contained alcohol. It had to be under 1%. And that did a lot of injury to breweries. The El Paso Brewing Association did try to go into prohibition products, cereal beverages.
Oh, really?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and show you during Prohibition. I'm going to be jumping back and forth in history of the
Sure.
Paso Brewing, but this is one of the bottles that they produced. This is during Prohibition, and this is the Tri-State Beverage Company. It's a soda company that they also introduced during Prohibition to stay afloat. It was very successful. They on the back of this is a root beer company out of Boston that they exported.
Wow, that's a great bottle.
So they could put either one in the bottle and it'd be accurate.
Exactly.
And that's a crock. That's a crock bottle.
And this
they
is a
use
crock
the ceramic. Yeah.
Right.
I've heard crock used another definition. That's a crock.
Well, it was a double purpose bottle that it held probably all the ingredients really well and kept it cooler than most other products they had at that time, like glass.
And exactly. And during the early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, most breweries had their own ice company due to the problem they had with keeping their product cold.
Yeah.
And this is one of the items that proves that. Now,
did you drink all this beer?
Oh, I wish I did. But this is soda. Now, after they introduced that, they decided to go with their own brand of beverages, soda companies, and they came out and they produced the Triangle beverage company. This is also a Paso Brewing Association. It doesn't state it on the bottle itself, but if you knew your history, it is.
I think I have one of those, but mine's not as good a shape as that.
Oh my! Rick Chavez is here. We got to take a break here in about 30 seconds. But the idea that you have is a huge bottle collection on your Facebook page. I noticed hundreds of bottles. So you must have a house full of this stuff.
I used to have a lot of in my collection back in the day. I did have one of the best Harry Mitchell collection. Now Woody Bear is basically up there.
It's at his house.
Yeah, Woody's got it.
There's other names too. Marco Beccomo has a great collection of signs and Paso Brewing Association and stuff like that. And these are friends and other collectors that they keep my interest alive.
Do you guys ever get together and trade stories? And
we try from time to time, but unfortunately, real life comes at the end because this is a passion of love.
Oh,
yeah. And
you can't make a lot of money doing this.
Not really.
You spend a lot of money, but
yeah. It's all up to how you perspect. If you're not, most people are not dealers, but they got to take different coats as it comes along. So, it's a fun hobby, and like anything else, it's a passion.
We'll get back to your hobby in a minute. We got to take a break here in the El
really
Paso
quick,
History Radio Show.
I wanted to bring up that Juarez changed its name from Paso del Norte to Ciudad Juarez September 16th, 1888.
So it wasn't
What a party, huh? That's September 16th is a big party.
Do you think they had beer?
Oh, I think so. I think they had cerveza barril.
So it was 1888.
1888. I thought it was later than that. So.
Interesting. Okay, fair enough. Taking a break here. What do we got going on here? You got Andrew. You have anything you want to report to us about? Because you talked to Rick early on in the week and got a few things in the way of pictures.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of good pictures going on. Some of the ones you've been maybe missing over on the Facebook, but you can always see afterwards. Includes the stuff going on with some of these logos, some of these historic pictures, including some of the pictures from our friends over at Remember in El Paso When.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can see all that going on over there. But yeah, a lot of interesting comments here. Barbara giving Bainey chiming in here. Karma Lay over on the Twitch stream saying that she loves the building of the old brewery, that a friend of theirs that used to live there in a loft back in the 1990s.
Yeah.
We'll get to more of that in a minute or two. Okay, back in a moment on the El Paso History Radio Show. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-8255 1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso. Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin.
You can always find us on Facebook, and you go there for our weekly promo announcements and the topics coming up each week. Also, we have a TV channel to take a look at. And these programs are posted on there. They're live on there as well. They're live on there right now, Andrew. Are they not on YouTube? Yeah. So you can go there and check it out if you need to. And that's youtube.com/El Paso History TV. Also on that same location on YouTube, I put a whole bunch of DVDs I made in recent history, last 20 years anyway. And they are about 12 of them there. Take a look at those. And then 20 segments from our ABC TV series called El Paso History TV. And they're online there as well. You can take a look at those. And they aired in the newscast, actually. That was kind of interesting to see Bernie pop up in the newscasts.
Oh, yeah, I know. We never did get a chance to see it. We couldn't find the video of it because we were busy that night. So,
about the
DeSoto Hotel?
No.
Oh.
20 of them.
Oh, and the videos. I'm sorry.
That's what's now. Those are now posted on this website at YouTube.
No, he was on KTSM talking about the DeSoto Hotel. That's what threw me.
Oh, I'm sure he was. Somebody had to talk to him. All right, fair enough. What do you got?
Well, here's a reminder to support our advertisers, which is a good thing to do in this day and age. And it's Pepe's New Mexican Restaurant, which is located in Cañotillo at 6761 Donovan
Write
Drive.
that down, 6761 Donovan.
And you can call Pepe or Lorena. We never talk about her. She's the brains of the operation as far as I'm concerned.
She's Mr. Pepe.
That's right. She's Mrs. Pepe.
Or Dr. Pepe. I'm not sure.
Dr. Pepe. There you go. Their number up there is 915-877-2152 for a to-go order or catering or for your next special event. And let's not forget, Pepe's is home of the one and only margarita.
And they'll do gift certificates too if you want to get
Oh
involved
yeah,
in
that's
that.
a thought too.
All right, we've got a call on the line here. We have Rich Chavez in the house, and Rick is basically talking about brewing companies. And we got a guy on the phone here named Charles. Charles, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good morning.
You have a comment about your grandfather. What is that about?
I'm sorry, it's my great grandfather.
Okay.
My great grandfather was the principal in the founding of the El Paso Brewing Company
Oh, wow.
in 1903.
Do you have any bottles or anything from then?
I wish I did. Oh man, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I don't. I have information from the El Paso Herald, June 22nd, 1903, right around that area. And apparently there were 5 people that put money into this project, and they raised $300,000.
Wow.
And they hired a contractor named W.M. William Greisinger. I think that's what Greiser Construction Company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the brewery is located on 5 acres near Dunn's Road and the A&J Railroad. Is that right?
It may have been. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
No, TMP Railroad.
Well, just summarize the article if you feel like it. Otherwise, we don't need to hear the whole thing. But the fact is that you're a relative, and we stirred you up today. How about that?
Hey, that's great. I'm sorry I didn't get in on the early part. I'm sure I missed a lot.
Well, we got a little bit more time left. Stay tuned, and we'll get to it.
Okay.
Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you later.
Thank
Take
you
her
for
easy.
calling. Bye-bye.
Appreciate that. And anybody can call here, Melissa. Why don't you throw the number out now? We'll get back to
That's right. It's 915-544-5876, 915-544-KTSM.
And that's how you can find us if
That's
you
right.
have a comment or a thought. And a guy in the chair here, Rick Chavez, we got about 4 minutes left in this segment. Tell us, you got another artifact to take a look at, or where do you want to go?
Yeah, so basically, well, I'm going to go ahead and go over some information of each brewing company as it comes along. I'll touch up on each brewery. First is the El Paso Brewing and Ice Company. It started in 1900 by Alfred Korchesny and W.C. Miller. The capital stock was $150,000. Alfred Korchesny also owned the El Paso Ice and Refrigeration Company at the time, which was also, as we talked earlier, El Paso breweries always had to have a main supply of ice. So being that he owned the El Paso Ice and Refrigeration Company, he made the brewery supposedly in conjunction or right next to it so he can have that supply. Daniel Lowe and Samuel Cole from Cleveland, Ohio became interested in the business in 1902. Even with the commission of architect Ernest Krause and an investment of $12,000 for the construction of the brewery, that was just to be enough to keep the business afloat. It seems that nothing ever was completed. The building was never completed.
Oh, that's too bad.
And basically, it didn't even get started. Other issues like finding a good water source, which is very important in El Paso, was a major issue. They also came out and had problems with tax as far as the beer that they needed. They get to get the permits and stuff like that. And it went as far as that, and then they end up putting the plug.
Man, that's a lot of trouble to go to and not make it. And how much? Tons of money, it sounds like, at the time.
Exactly. That's why investors were very important. That's why a lot of companies, as you're going to find out later in the show, they did not produce because of that issue with the financial adjustments that they needed.
And all the regulation you got to go through and all that good stuff. And also then your product. And do you have any idea? This may not be in part of the stuff you looked at, but what were the bars serving? They were serving stuff that came in on the trains mainly?
Basically, most of the stuff was exported in, and they came from the major cities where beer companies or breweries were around since the early 1800s. Even in all parts of the country, Germans, were the ones responsible for beer in the world. They were the famous beer makers, and their ancestors came all across this country, Mexico, and other parts of the world, and each of them have a German tradition in their breweries in the
There were,
early years.
there were a lot of Germans at the time in Mexico doing mining.
Exactly.
Did they drink a lot of beer down there?
Oh, there was a lot of breweries. Matter of fact, some of the first brewmasters of some of the Mexican breweries, Carta Blanca, even back to El Paso Waters Brewery, they all had German brewmasters.
Interesting times. I mean,
You had other people in Mexico also that were doing other businesses that were German, so that makes common sense.
yeah,
They had it.
the mining industry was full of Germans. Interesting stuff.
Exactly.
All right, I got to take a break here on the El Paso History Radio Show. Rick Chavez is in the house. Anybody got social media going on?
Let's see. We've had a lot of people that are. Somebody's mentioned that they're going to looks like we're going to have to get some beer and listen to this one, and that was by Javier Rodriguez. And he says this place produced Falstaff beer for a while too, which we'll be talking about later.
Mhm.
Just everybody's having fun on this. They're having conversations back and forth. An old El Paso landmark. It's great information.
Andrew, you're monitoring other sites as well. You got anything new?
Oh yeah, looking at all the places we're putting this out because we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch these days. Mark Howe mentioning publication by Bill Lockhart of the breweries and beer bottles of El Paso.
We are going to get to him. He
Yeah.
is a major guy in this stuff,
Yes.
in this history.
Oh yeah, and some of the just mentioning the 450 pages of the many different bottles and cans and beverages that were produced here back in the day.
You ought to see what he's got in the chair over here. It's an
Oh, yeah.
amazing array of things we will be showing you. All right, taking a break on the El Paso History Radio Show. Throw that number out just in case.
915-544-5876 or 915-544-KTSM.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com, and you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso. Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our video section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Baney. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com, and you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso.
Monterey Asset Management. And I want to remind you to get a hold of Jim Tolbert if you want to see what's going on in Celebration of Our Mountains. And that's he's going to Slot Canyon in a few, maybe next week. Kilburn Hole is coming up, the volcanic tour, and a birding trip to Escalante. Get a hold of him at celebrationofourmountains.org.
Monterey Asset Management is now M1EP Management Corporation, and the principal certified property manager is Mike Baca. And they'd love for you to visit their website at m1ep.com, or you can give them a call at their office at 915-591-3303 to learn more about their services. Then we want you to call this other number too, and that's 915-588-1850 to talk to Patrick Tuttle of Coldwell Banker Heritage Real Estate. Pat's the top-selling realtor and is the person to go to buy, sell, or rent a home. So call Patrick Tuttle today at 915-588-1850.
Patrick's a good guy. He knows what he's doing out there. All right, we have Mr. Chavez here in the hall here. Rick, I appreciate you bringing in. You got a bunch of bottles to take a look at. We also have a caller on the line. Let's try to call and talk to Jorge. Jorge, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Rick, I wanted to ask you down on, I think it's Florence in Texas, around where City Hall is. There's an advertisement on the wall there for one of the early El Paso Brewing companies. Are you aware of it, and could you comment on that?
Yes, basically it's an advertising for Anheuser-Busch. It's a malt neutrine. It's a prohibition drink that they made at the time, and we were just touching up on it, that a lot of the product before the El Paso brewery started getting strong, a lot of outside companies used to distribute the beer here. They were transported in, and this is one of the good examples of that. I think I have a picture of it somewhere, and I'll hunt it down during one of the breaks, but I'll post it also. Yeah, it was unearthed when they tore down the building next to it, and that's definitely from Prohibition. It's called Malt Neutrine.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Jorge. You take her easy. And I think he's calling from New York.
Yeah, I think he's in Brooklyn now.
Somewhere up there.
That's truly New York, Brooklyn.
I guess I want to be. All right, Rick, take us where you want to go here. You got another bottle up there.
Yes. Well, this is from the first creation of the El Paso Brewing Association. They were embossed bottles. This type of bottle is called embossed. It was the earlier type of bottles. Of course, there's an earlier version called Hutch's, that was just before this time in the brewing history of El Paso. This bottle here is about 7.5 ounces. It was put out by the First Corporation. Now, I'll explain what that means a little bit as soon as we come up. What's interesting about this bottle is that in the back, they always have this slogan, "This bottle not to be sold." The reason they put this is because they were very low on supply, and they not really want to sell these bottles. They just wanted to put them in bars, and they can empty them there, and then they return into the brewery. But unfortunately, when you have collectors like myself, we happen to manage to get one here and get one there.
Do you think they had a bottle price on a deposit? I mean, that came later.
It came later. Yeah, mostly with soda companies.
Uh-huh.
That's what basically where the deposit came in. El Paso breweries were still at the early stage. Not to say that El Paso soda bottlers, weren't as early as El Paso breweries, but most people wanted a cold beer, and they had a lot of guidelines that they had to go by to do that. This one, like I said, this started with the First Corporation of the Paso Brewing Association. The First Corporation started June 22nd, 1903. The El Paso Brewing Association was incorporated. The initial stock was 300,000, with 200,000 issued to Eastern capitalists, with the last 100,000 to be sold to local investors, including the board of directors. At this particular juncture, the board of directors at the time were George Pence. He was a local promoter at the time. Judge Peyton F. Edwards, E.B. Welch, which was a local furniture store company owner at the time, and then John Klink and John Sorensen. The brewmaster was Joe Gaber. On July 21st, 1903, the first special meeting of the brewery was to introduce Wilhelm Grieser, owner of the Wilhelm Grieser Construction Company. His company was specialist in building breweries and distilleries, and was hired to design and build the new El Paso Brewing Association building at that time. The opening date that happened for the El Paso Brewing Association, the First Corporation, was set for July 20th, 1904. The opening date was then moved back to November of 1904 due to unforeseen delays. Although Grieser was heading the project, he hired a local firm of Sorensen and Morgan to do the construction of the brewery and the new building. Property along the Southern Pacific Railroad tracks was already purchased. And during this time, old breweries, well, let's say breweries at the time, always seemed to have their building next to railroad tracks. So because it was easier to ship in the supplies, and the cost, which was major in all breweries across the country, always tried to have the same kind of dimension as having being close to a railroad track. The opening date for the El Paso Brewing Association, due to the setbacks, was now set at July 20th, 1904. Again, with more delays, it was moved back to November of 1904.
They had a lot of trouble getting this going.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, a special railroad car transported all invited guests, including Mayor Moorhead of El Paso at the time, who withdrew the first shovel of dirt to break the groundbreaking ceremony at 10:15 a.m. Located on a 5-acre lot, which was touched by our caller earlier, Grieser based the construction of the brewery on the same plans of the Texas Brewing Company of Dallas, which he built a little bit earlier in the year. Mr. Grieser relocated to El Paso to become president of his corporation and supervise the construction, as well as was helping in the process of it itself. The brewery building was completed in July of 1904, almost a year after Mr. Pence started selling stock in the company. Again, Joseph Gabler was the new brewmaster, and on November 6th, with a supply of the brewery product and with music, the brewery was finally open for business. Golden Pride was a beer first produced with pure and fresh being a product, and not shipped thousands of miles like other breweries that were done prior to the opening of this El Paso Brewing Association. Coming into it, this is some of the original labels.
Watch that bottle.
Okay. Here's
Don't spill the beer.
Here's a copy of one of the original labels, if you can see it.
That's pretty clean.
Yes, of the Southern Brewing. It's a blow up. As of today, I myself.
I was going to say that. Otherwise, that's a huge can of beer.
Right. As of today, I have not seen any examples of this on an actual bottle. Being that El Paso has always been to recycling, either from people from El Paso or from Mexico, so stuff just don't last that's old.
Yeah.
And so this was taken from an auction book that somebody had a couple labels, and it's a beautiful label. The name of it, believe it or not, was Southern Bud.
There it is.
Yeah,
Right there.
right there.
Yeah. Got nothing to do with Anheuser-Busch, with Budweiser or anything like that. It was just
Looks like the butt of a rose up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's,
okay.
yeah.
yeah, and there you go. That was the trick. The bud is basically for the rose,
Interesting.
and it's just a beautiful artwork when you see it.
And if it play on words that perhaps people thought it was Budweiser. I mean, I know how they do that in cross
Well,
advertising.
nowadays,
yeah.
you get in a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to also step into the second corporation now. Okay,
Before you do that, second corporation coming, we need to take a break here on the El Paso
Okay.
History Radio Show, and we shall do that and be back in a moment.
Thank you.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com, and you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso. Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Got to tell you about another group that does history in El Paso. They do the music history. That's Rick Kern. He has a podcast called Talkin' Rock Radio. And so you go there to talkinrockradio.com. He's got one now with Rod Crosby. And if you've been around El Paso for a while and have heard local bands, Rod Crosby's a good one.
And it's good. It's a good podcast. He's had some really great guests and such. Check him out. Oh, I have to make a correction, and I do apologize to Mike and Ray Baca. The phone number I gave out for Monterey Asset Management is 915-592-4549. So I really, really apologize on that.
Thank you for that. And we appreciate Ray letting us know.
I don't type well, obviously. Okay. Mission Del Rey has just knocked out some walls in the store and added a new alpaca room featuring soft plush alpaca blankets, capes, shawls, and throws. And you also don't want to miss their clearance section, which includes scratch and dent items as well as closeout items. You can shop online at missiondelrey.com or visit their store that is located at 1421 North Lee Trevino, Suite A7. And don't forget to mention you heard this ad on the El Paso History Radio Show and receive a discount on your purchases.
Good stuff out there. And also, we do have Rich Chavez talking about beer history and such. Where do you want to go now? We've got about 6 minutes in this segment, it sounds like. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and finish up on the El Paso Brewing Association, the first corporation. And despite all the energy and excitement by all those involved, the brewing company had a lot of more problems that they were able to face. At the end, the El Paso Brewing Association had problems paying their bills. Stockholders and creditors decided to hire T.B. Dockery and two other representatives to bargain with William Greaser about bringing the problems up to light. In the end, the stockholders decided to sell and hired Richard Capos to auction off the first El Paso Brewing Association to the public. This was the end of the first association of the Paso Brewing Association.
And Capos, that was a big name back in that early part of El Paso history.
Exactly, yeah, Mr. Capos. I'm beginning the second corporation of the El Paso Brewing Association. The auction of the original El Paso Brewing Association took place on the steps of the El Paso Courthouse at 2:20 p.m. on March 14th, 1905. The opening bid was started by Richard Burgess with a bid of $25,000, even though the brewery was valued at $110,000, including 2,793 barrels of beer and all supplies. In the end, J. Philip Dieter, a liquor store owner and the first person to bottle soda in El Paso, with partner A.L. Hawk, was the bidder and the highest one at the time. The bid came in at $66,000, way below the $110,000 that the investors were hoping for.
Jeez.
The stockholders of the first El Paso Brewing Association were not satisfied and forced the District Court of El Paso to auction off the brewery again. And this time they wanted at least $160,000 for their facility. J.P. Dieter again was a high bidder, this time at $76,000, and the court was satisfied, and J.P. Dieter finally took control of the El Paso Brewing Association, the second corporation.
They lost their shirts on a lot of things and doing it.
Exactly.
I don't understand, because they go into business thinking this is going to be a big whoop-de-doo. They apparently took a look at the market and said, we can do this. And then you're talking about failure after failure here.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
And it's hard to put it in perspective on what the main reason was, but a lot of it had to do with investors and rise of supplies and a bunch of other stuff that they didn't expect to happen to them when they were building this.
They probably didn't have experience in this kind of business.
Exactly.
I'm guessing a lot of us and novices think, oh, well, people are going to drink our beer. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
In 1905, J.P. Dieter made good to his word, and he incorporated the El Paso Brewing Association, which is something that the first company didn't do. The new brewery started with a capital of $225,000 with W.H. Long, Walter Earnhardt, and J.P. Dieter as the original owners. Dieter then sold the brewery right after the opening when he bought it for $225,000 in cash.
So he made a few bucks.
Yes, and paid off his note on December 7th. So basically, it was just an investment idea for him, and he quickly went around and sold the brewery.
Apparently, he was also into mineral water, soda water, and ice.
Well, yeah, and he was also owned the first liquor company in El Paso, and like I said, he also had the first soda company, which is Hoka-Dieter, which unfortunately I don't have a bottle of at this time.
Temperance people would say he's the king of ice in El Paso, maybe. You got about a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. In 1906, the brewery first acquired the first telephone number in 1588, and the new brewmaster for 1906 was Alfred Lutich, and he served until 1910.
Interesting stuff here. And the brewing history, we look at a lot of things in El Paso history on this program. And that's just when you brought that up, that was just something I had never really thought about. But we also got a lot of interest on Facebook.
Oh yeah, a lot of interest on that. And also something that we were talking about earlier in the beginning, before the show started, was about the power plant that was at that facility. It was a monster power plant that helped supply electricity to East El Paso.
Oh, you did a history moment on that.
Yeah, I gave him that information because I thought it was fascinating. You get your beer, but you get your electricity.
But that went out of business apparently.
Yeah, that was the Milton Brewery that had the power plant.
Right, the Mitchell Brewery. Yeah.
And most people in El Paso have either seen or know about the brewing location that we put in the picture on Facebook, but also that location. We're going to talk maybe more next hour about Mitchell himself and how his plans work.
Right,
Fair
exactly.
Have we covered where you need to be for now?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we sure have.
All right, Rick Chavez, and just offhand, where do you get all your information? We've got about a few seconds left here.
Well, basically, I started just by researching. I was blessed to be given an opportunity by Mr. Bill Green, bless his heart, because he's no longer with us. When he was with the El Paso Historical Committee,
now may be the perfect time to buy a home financed by Loan Depot. Loan Depot has over 300 loan.
Now we hear a commercial. The commercials are jumping and they want to get out. We'll get to them in a second. Anyway, so Mr. Green.
Yeah, well, Mr. Green gave me the opportunity to get hold of some of the original Harry Mitchell.
It's gonna be you.
Okay, pick one, Andrew.
It's a really nice one.
Should we just dump it here? Let me know when we should quit talking, because we're talking about. That gets confusing.
I think somebody's been drinking beer up at not Andrew, but
in the traffic department.
Yeah, there you go.
Goodness gracious! I hope you get that straightened out. That's happened 2 weeks in a row. See what you can do about that. All right, thank you all for listening. We'll be back next hour talking about more history of beer in El Paso and the Mitchell Brewing Company. See you then. Thanks, Rick Chavez. We'll see you after the news. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso.
Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso.
Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin.
As we often do, we're starting hour 2 of the El Paso History Show with El Paso History Moment, produced by Melissa Sargent for the El Paso History Alliance page on Facebook. And her story today is an overview about the Bendal Saloon in 1858.
1858 Saloon Etiquette. W.W. Mills, a newcomer to El Paso, entered Bendal's saloon one evening, just in time to witness a fight between local citizens Samuel Schutz and Tom Massey. Alarmed, Mills appealed to the spectators to stop the fisticuffs. "Gentlemen, would you see the man murdered?" There was no response from the crowd, and the fight ran its course. Next day, when Mills returned to the saloon, Bendal gave him a bit of friendly advice regarding fights. "My young friend, when you see anything of that kind going on in El Paso, don't interfere. It is not considered good manners here." Bendal, ever the politician, would become El Paso's first mayor in 1873. More history next week on El Paso History Moments. I'm Melissa Sargent for the El Paso History Alliance.
You done good there. Hello, hey,
Hello,
testing
there we go.
1 2 7. You've
Yeah.
done good there.
That was a funny one. I really enjoyed that one because of the simple fact that, they had etiquette back in those days.
Oh, my
That's
goodness,
amazing. And also, we want to talk to other people since they listen to the show that they can also go to some great Facebook pages. The El Paso History Alliance has a wonderful Facebook page that talks about architectural and cultural history of El Paso. And Barbara Given Bainey and her crew over there for Remember in El Paso When, one of the best sites out there and one of the oldest sites that has tons of photos and pictures.
It's a fabulous site. And what she does is she puts up a lot of archives. And if you use them, just give her credit for them. And I think, Andrew, if you're going to be putting up some pictures you got from her page, you said so. But she is the chief admin and the owner. And we have also Rick Duncan, Rick Nahara, Margaret Smith, Paul Louie, Ben Vincent, and Ken Weiss. Now, that's a great group of people. All right, the guy on the other picture here, take a look at that. He's behind a bunch of what are you behind there?
These are letterheads from the old Tanhauser Brewing Company, which I'm going to touch up briefly on before we get to the most famous brewery of El Paso.
And that's Rich Chavez. That's that you really can't read that, and it's got a glare on it. But just show the fact that you've got that, and then maybe pull it down so we can see you.
Okay.
Well, you can't really read it though. But
Okay.
I mean, the fact that you have it. By the way, how do people get a hold of you if they have information or questions?
Well, my phone number is 915-549-9061. And my email is elpasorick@elp.rr.com or extremeactionphoto24@gmail.com.
El Paso Rick.
El Paso Rick.
And I posted it already on the Facebook page, both the live feed for the show as well as our regular Facebook page.
Yeah,
So it's out
excellent.
there.
If you need to get hold of me for anything, if you have some items from the old breweries or anything like that, I'll be interested. And if you just want to talk about history in general of all El Paso breweries, I'll also be very honored and interested to talk to you about it.
All right, you put up that what's that, Andrew?
Just since you mentioned what was going on with Barbara Given Bainey, she actually just sent us a picture of one of those outlets you were talking about, the Polk and Dieter, if I said that right, wholesale liquors that
Can
we
you see
got up
that?
there from Remember in El Paso when there.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet. That's nice. I would like to get a copy of that if possible.
It's online.
Oh, okay.
And that's on Remember in El Paso When on Facebook. And yeah, Barbara's very good about doing this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Rick, go ahead. We're talking to Rich Chavez, and you had mentioned that other brewery, and then we'll get into other things.
Yes. Okay. Well, basically, after the 18th Amendment was eliminated, this was in 1933. There were two breweries that started up in 1933 in a race to be the first brewery to open up in El Paso at the time. The first one was called the Tanhauser Brewing Company, and these were basically the original owners of the El Paso Brewing Association. They started up in 1933 and had a proposed investment of $125,000. Approximately 250 El Pasans were invited to the groundbreaking ceremony, which was located 2 blocks off Alameda on Clark Road, which I believe now is the Texas Highway Department building.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's right by a railroad track. It makes perfect sense for a new brewery to open up. And Frank Brink, the former brewmaster for the El Paso Brewing Association, was also in charge of the Tanhauser plant, along with G.W. Green. $25 in cash was a promotion that they offered for something to come up with a slogan for the brewery. Judge W.H. Pelfrey handled the spade and turned over the first shovel of dirt, breaking the ground on the Tanhauser Brewing Company. Former County Judge E.B. McKitlock was also the master of ceremonies. October 22nd was the last information on this proposed Tanhauser Brewing Company. Now, I have also had some articles from the El Paso Times and Herald at the time that this company, or this brewing company, went to the official grand opening ceremony, and again, they pulled the plug. They never produced beer. They didn't go any further, which only tells you that the next brewery I'm going to talk about, the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company, is obviously the one that won the race.
Only one, yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Mitchell is an unusual one because he made it.
Yes. Harry Mitchell is probably the most recognized name in El Paso breweries after Prohibition. It was in existence for the longest of time.
We got lots of pictures. Look at that.
Right. Harry Mitchell had a huge history. The first thing I'd like to talk about Harry Mitchell is he was born in England in 1899. He enlisted in the United States Army in 1912. He was hired as a bartender for the Hotel Paso del Norte, and from there, he got the experience in the liquor world. He made a lot of people being a bartender, which most bartenders do.
He had the contacts.
Right, he had the contacts. And this is pre-Prohibition, of course, still. At the time, he got word from some of these local politicians that the 18th Amendment was going to start taking effect in the United States. So he settled in Mexico. He went to Juarez, and he opened up with a businessman called Enrique Fernandez, and they opened up the Mint Cafe.
Okay.
No?
He is the second one on the back of the truck with the hat.
Oh, they all got hats.
Okay.
That's
I
kind of
can't
hard.
see it from here. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, for the windshield, he is the third one, the smallest one on the footrest of the vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
In fact, I think a gentleman has an arm around him.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Who are the other guys? The investors or?
They were investors, and some of them were
Oh, there's a better picture of him.
right.
Where'd you get that picture? Andrew? Where'd you get that picture?
That, I believe, is courtesy from our friends over at Remember in El Paso When.
Oh, there you go.
One of the funniest things about it is that he got involved with this man named Enrique Fernandez. Unfortunately, Enrique Fernandez was also called the Al Capone of Mexico.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, no one knows why Harry Mitchell got involved with Fernandez, but Fernandez was later found murdered in Mexico City in the 1930s.
Ah, look at that. Al Capone's coming through.
Surprising, yes.
Harry opened a Mint Cafe in Juarez, Mexico during Prohibition and was active in the United States. He had many congressmen and senators and all kinds of local politicians that would go across to Mexico to enjoy an alcoholic beverage.
The cafe may have been just a front, you're thinking maybe, huh?
Maybe so, but it was a pretty popular water hole at the time.
Okay.
And
Very popular with the celebrities and everything came through the area.
Exactly.
You know where it was, offhand, either one of you?
This down was it on September 16th of September? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 16th of September. Some of the names that went were Jack Dempsey. There was Mrs. Price, the actress. Jim Jeffries
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart went, and and the list goes on and on and on. It was also these people that also gave him the tip, again, that prohibition and the 18th Amendment was losing its grip and was going to be appealed. It was at this time that Harry Mitchell decided to come back into the United States with his wife, Leela, and start the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company.
What year was that again?
1933.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Prohibition
Right at
was
the
just
end,
over,
yeah.
Yeah,
and he wants to come back over.
and start up the new brewery.
Was he like the main first guy, or did
Yes, yes, he was. The first meeting, I'm going to just jump right into it. The first meeting of the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company was held in room 655 of the First National Bank building at 1:30 p.m. on September 29th, 1933. The original stockholders were Harry Mitchell with 1,480 shares of stock. Charles Grider had 20 shares. William W. Cunningham also had 20. And Will E. Keller, which is a major business owner and factory owner out of LA, had also 1,480 shares of stock in the company. Directors of the newly formed corporation was Harry Mitchell as president, William W. Cunningham was the VP, and Charles M. Grider was the secretary and treasurer. Each share of stock was valued at $25 a share. It just seems like each stock, for no matter what brewery it was up to this point, was also at $25 a share.
Well, everybody kept investing in this, thinking one of these has got to work.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
was Harry Mitchell's that actually finally worked, right?
Right.
Did he build that building that we had the picture of?
Yes, he did. Well, actually, that's the Paso Brewing Association, the building that you had, and Harry Mitchell eventually took over. And the difference between this Paso Brewing Association building and Harry Mitchell is that along the railroad tracks, you can see a different in color in buildings. The old El Paso Brewing Association color is mostly brown in color. Now, if you're walking down the railroad tracks toward the end, where Globe Flour Company is, I believe, you can see more of a flesh tone or a pinkish
a
tone.
lighter color. Yeah.
And that building became a number of things since then. What is it now? I mean,
Well, it's a bunch of smaller businesses. The off Alameda Street on the other side is a Paso Produce Company, I believe. There's a bunch of fruit companies there, and there's some bottling and an artist that works out of that brewery.
it's apartments, isn't it?
Yes, apartment complexes, and it's actually basically called the Brew House.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Stepping up, the total amount of the capital was based at about $150,000. There were two types of shares that were offered. Class A was valued at $25 per share, and Class B. Class B was also voted to be a voting stock. Class A was just basically stock offered to the public.
So we're talking about the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company.
Yes, Harry
getting
Mitchell.
started after Prohibition.
Right, 1933.
And all these El Paso businessmen backed the guy because he had a successful Prohibition business in Mexico.
Exactly.
It's already
Now, did he keep
established,
the Mint? He keep the Mint Cafe going in Mexico?
No, once he came and started the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company, there was a lot of problems that happened, being that he was an American in Mexico.
Oh yeah, issues.
There was a lot of issues that came out and started happening, and being with labor problems from Mexico, and so he just basically shut it down, and they came to the United States.
We're going to take a break here about this point here. We got Rich Chavez in here talking about the interesting brewery history in El Paso, and we're into the details now of the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company, and we have an awful lot of pictures of that, an awful lot of, and you have memorabilia of that, so we'll have to get to that starting after the next break here. We could take a phone call if we
Sure
need
we
to.
can. 915-544-5876 or
Look at that.
915-544-KTSM.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Baney. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com.
And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso. Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his...
Let you know, next week we got on February 19th. Our guest is Harry Von Feilich again, and his topic is the life of a soldier of fortune named Sam Drebin. He was a respected El Paso businessman after a while, but also he was possibly a spy.
And a soldier of fortune.
During the Mexican Revolution, a soldier of fortune. He spent time in Central America, was a mercenary in the Mexican Revolution. And I think you mentioned his life could be a great movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it should be a great movie. He sees the stuff of adventure movies, like, ones you've seen for years, Westerns, all kinds of things. I'd love to see a really good one. I've seen one that might have been related to him, but I would like to see the real thing done on him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I want to talk, speaking of trains, we have Harvey Girls of El Paso. They're going to present a program called Romance on the Rails, Monday, February 14th at 2 p.m. in the historic Union Passenger Station Depot. And you learn about the Harvey Girls and Harvey. While in the station depot, you can mingle with passengers traveling on Amtrak and walk on the same floor that presidents, celebrities, dignitaries, soldiers, and everyday folks have walked on since 1906. check out the original floor plan while you're there of the Union Passenger Station. And keep in mind, COVID-19 restrictions are still in effect. And if you have questions, you can give Patricia Kidney a call at 915-591-2326.
Fair enough here. All right, Rick Chavez, we got a couple of minutes left in this segment here. You have got up there on your picture it's a little crooked, but we get the idea. It's a serving tray. Rotate that the other way. Yeah, there you go. Keep going.
Turning it.
I think we can read it though.
The way most of us will look at it after drinking beer.
Harry Mitchell's quality lager beer from the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company. And that's an unusual artifact.
Yes, sir. Any advertising basically from the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company is getting tougher to find. This is a beer tray dating from 1940 to about 1944. It was the second in the series of beer trays that Mitchell produced. There was 3 total that they had with different designs.
Would you like to buy the other 2?
Oh, I would love to have them.
What's your phone number?
915-549-9061.
Collector here. We're selling your stuff here.
Also, another thing we were talking about during the break, Linda Osborne, who's watching on Facebook, had a question as to how much do you think a glass of beer would have cost back at the heyday of Mitchell's Brewery?
Why don't you take that down so we can see you?
Okay, well,
there he is.
A beer at the time at some of the local taverns and ice houses here in El Paso were going for about 5 cents a glass.
That's in the 1930s?
Yeah, but the 1930s to the early 40s at the most.
Be careful with that.
Clang, clang.
I've had advertisements from El Paso Harry Mitchell Brewing Company where they offered a case of bottles for $2.10 for 24 bottles. So compared to today, my God,
it's still a cheap drink when you think about it. That was the everyday man's drink or woman.
Exactly. There's a lot of advertising it's very collectible, but the problem is it's getting harder and harder to find.
We have a listener question exactly on that. His name is Lee. Lee, we got you on the radio. What are you asking about the advertising?
Well, I'm not asking. I remember in the mid 50s that Mitchell Brewing would sponsor live wrestling on Saturday afternoon.
Mat time
on TV.
On TV, yes. And there wasn't much live TV going on. The stations came on about noon or 1 o'clock and went off at 10 o'clock at night.
And wrestling was a big thing, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And wrestling was a big deal. I don't remember if it came from the studios. It seems like it was on Channel 4.
Yes,
KROD. Or if
KROD.
it came from the County Coliseum. But I do remember the play-by-play announcer, if that's what he was called. He would, during one of the commercial breaks, would pour himself a tall beer and would drink it right on the spot. It was an unusual thing, and it was a big deal. We never missed Saturday afternoon wrestling on TV.
As a kid, were you drinking at the time?
No.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Maybe Dad.
We had no one in our family were drinkers, but we were wrestling fans.
Fair enough. Well, Lee, thank you for sharing that with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I wonder if Gorgeous George ever appeared.
Lee, thanks a
in El
lot.
Paso.
I can tell you, Wild Red Berry was the dirty rat
okay.
that
Wild
would show
Red
up
Berry.
in El Paso occasionally.
Oh, Lee, real quick, did you ever drink a Great Bet?
Oh, yes.
I remember those. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Lee.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, you take care easy. Andrew, you had let's talk to Andrew for a second. You had wanted to talk about some of the current brewing going on here.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, there was that lapse in history that we're approaching the discussion of, but it did then start coming back here in El Paso. I mean, the whole craft beering revolution that we saw. I mean, Jackson's restaurant, Jackson's with an X, and it was one of the ones that kind of restarted it there.
Don't know
But
how
then-
to spell that, do they?
yeah. But then they came back, that went away. But then there are others. I mean, we have a number of them in town here that are now active. Blazing Tree, Mountain Star, another El Paso brewing, no relation as far as I'm aware, but Old Sheepdog Brewery, Dead Beach, Three Missions. So and then more up in Las Cruces as well. So it's certainly come back in a very strong way in our region
And
since this point in history.
San Eli also. They've got a couple of breweries down there
San
now.
Elizario?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Three Missions being one of those as well. Yeah.
Yeah, down there. Okay, interesting stuff here. We're talking with Rich Chavez about breweries, and Rick, do you have any idea? A lot of these breweries now, the old guys would have been envious that they had a brewery in a bar.
It's
right.
Yes, it's very interesting, and I support the local microbreweries, which is a word I don't like to use because a brewery is a brewery, no matter how you look at it. Some of these early breweries in Prohibition were also small breweries, but they weren't labeled micro, So
well, I guess now with the big guys in the country, blanketing the advertising and so much beer coming out of them, that these guys, by comparison, are a lot smaller.
I guess in that sense, but they're still a brewery, no matter.
Hey, you're right. Still making beer.
A lot of people make it out of their homes too. I have a friend that does a lot of making their own beer at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it can be done.
Unfortunately, these microbreweries, they put out some excellent product, and people should break away from Bud Light and all this stuff just to give them a try.
Give it a shot. Yeah, see what's
and you'd be surprised on how much flavor there really is and the art that they're putting into their brews. Go out and support a local brewery. It's well worth it.
All right, Rick Chavez is here. We need to take a break at this point and come back and talk further about this. Get ready for like a longer segment when we come back. And then we only have 2 more segments. So start figuring out where you want to put things. Because you got notes that go on forever and bottles. We haven't shown all the bottles yet. You got a bunch of pop bottles. Maybe we can get some of those.
I'll finish. Go ahead, sir.
All right, that's okay. Any social media going on we need to know about, Andrew?
Actually, just on that, Monica Cervantes is just mentioning that she works at Picacho Peak Brewing in Las Cruces, but also very excited to have learned lots about the brew in our area from the show here today.
A lot of people interested out there drinking like crazy, I suppose. You told them to get a 6-pack.
I told them to get a 6-pack to listen to the show.
And also, we're going to go to Pepe's afterwards. Pepe has beer, but I don't think it's just your basic normal stuff. I don't think it has a micro or anything. All right, back in a moment on the El Paso History Radio Show.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Baney. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso. Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com. m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know.
You know, Melissa, after talking about all this beer, I'm thinking I should have one. I don't drink a lot of beer
Let's
at all.
head to Pepe's and we'll have one after lunch.
He's got some things out there, but also let's talk now about This Week Only in El Paso Inc.
Track the progress of the projects posed to reshape El Paso in Crane Watch.
Crane Watch. Okay. Why El Paso County, like many other counties across Texas, is rejecting an unprecedented number of mail-in ballot applications.
The company that has handled El Paso's residential recycling service for 15 years has been sold.
To the Mitchell Brewing Company. No. Anyway, El Paso's business journal, El Paso Inc., is available for home or business delivery. To receive El Paso Inc., order it online at elpasoinc.com. And we appreciate them. They put a promo in their paper every week for us.
That's right.
All right. We got Rich Chavez here. Take a couple of highlights there. Let's look. What do you got there?
Okay. This is a photograph from a gentleman named Richard Waters. He is basically relatives of Harry Mitchell, one of the very few that still exist today.
Oh, he's got more trays than you do.
Yes, exactly. He has the trifecta of the trays that I'm talking about. Richard lives in Florida. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm kind of honored because it was also his uncle, which is Wilford Mitchell. It was a nephew of Harry Mitchell, and there's also a Michael Mitchell. They both live in Canada, where Richard lives in Florida.
If they're listening, hello. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, they made the attempt to come all the way from Canada and Florida, and they hunted me down.
Oh.
And they asked me for a lot of information and stuff about the Mitchell Brewery, and we've been friends ever since.
Oh, cool.
This is Richard Waters' collection, a photo of what he has.
I love how he did it too.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's wonderful.
Great
very
display.
beautiful collection. He has to be piece by piece one of the best Mitchell collections in Nevada, and it's great that
Amazing.
it's family oriented.
I had no idea there was such a collector issue going on here.
Oh yeah, it's worldwide. Matter of fact, some of the reasons why I stay collecting today after 45 years is just the friends that I have made through the years.
You mentioned during your break you don't drink a lot of beer yourself.
No, unfortunately, I had a brain tumor years ago, and
It doesn't like to drink.
it doesn't like to drink. So,
it gets out of control.
Yeah,
That one brain.
Get some lemonade for that brain.
so I'm the best friend that comes when a bunch of friends go out drinking, because I can have one, but I pay for many more for other people.
Yeah, but you're the driver
I
then.
was just saying, you can literally deliver them home. Yes, because you're a mailman.
Fair enough.
Exactly. Just a couple more notes that I want to pass on. In 1952, Harry Mitchell sold his stock in the company. He then retired, and he was kept for another year to 1953 as an advisor when the new owners took over. In 1952, it was a gentleman named I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry.
Some guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll get back to it.
Hit some
Charles
highlights.
Cooper. Charles Cooper is the one that took over as the new owner of Mitchell Brewery. That's in 1952. They quickly had a lot of problems, and in 1956, the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company closed their doors. The Falstaff Brewing Company took over as new owners of the brewery.
That location.
Right. And anything that had to do with the Harry Mitchell Brewing Company was discontinued because Falstaff was an established brewery corporation and they had their own brands. And I'm going to show you a couple cans from Falstaff that were made in El Paso, which are also known as Plant Number 9.
Let's take a look at them. What do you got here? And he's got all kinds of stuff here. You're going to bring out some. Oh, there's the
Huge
plant. You're going to bring out some of these things out to Pepe's. Just bring out some of them. A draft beer there in a can. Look at that.
Right. And this is some of the original cans from the Falstaff Brew Company. They are listed on the can. El Paso, it doesn't say Plant Number 9, but anybody that does with the history of El Paso breweries knows that Falstaff in El Paso was Plant Number 9. They went from 1956 to 1968. Some people have said that they went to 1966, but it has been articles in the newspaper. They did close the doors in 1968.
All right, what else you got? You got all kinds of stuff here.
Right.
I'm trying to get through some of it here. We get near the end of the.
This has nothing to do with El Paso Brewing, but I want to show you some of the beer cans from the first breweries that you might recognize.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one of the first Budweiser beer cans, 1933 to 1934. And here's one of the first Millers. Each of them were so new that they even had to show you how to open up the can. Okay. Beer can started in 1933. And this is the fan. And believe it or not, these are solid steel.
Oh, don't do that. It's an artifact. No.
You can't dent them. They're solid 12-gauge steel cans. And
oh, my goodness.
In other words, there was no crushing these on your forehead.
You could not do that.
Oh, yeah. You put a hole in your head.
One fun fact that I like to bring out is that 1933, when Prohibition was eliminated, Anheuser-Busch came out with an advertising slogan and actually a fact that the Clydesdales started off in 1933 as an honor that Prohibition was eliminated, and they've been with us ever since.
Interesting.
So the Clydesdales, in honor of being able to sell beer again, real beer, started in 1933.
Take a look at some of these bottles you got. You got some pop bottles here, don't you?
Right. I'm going to go ahead and start showing some of the soda companies that produced some nice bottles back then. I can give you some dates and stuff like that.
Watch out hitting the mic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Very sorry. Okay. There's just so many. As mentioned earlier, as one of the owners of the El Paso Brewing Association, the first soda company that came into El Paso was Hook and Dieter. 1881 to 1912. G. Edward Angerstein came in second at 1883 to 1884. They were only in business for 1 year, which makes it a very tough bottle to find. I have never seen a specimen of that company yet. R.F. Johnson was from 1892 to 1899. Henry Pfaff, which I have right in front of you, they operated from 1900 to 1907, and then they went out of business. The M.R. Sweeney Company was from 1906 to 1908. Purity Bottling Company from 1906 to 1915. And this one here is the Crown Bottling. And this one is from 1916 to 1921.
No relation to Crown Royal?
No, not at all.
Strictly a separate label.
Yeah. Now, the difference between these bottles, these are called embossed bottles. As you notice that the letters are raised, and it also dates them. As you can notice, they're from turn of century to about, let's say, 1910, 1920 at the most. After this style of bottle, they went to an ACL, which is applied color label. And
that's great.
And this is what basically went all the way from the 1940s to the 60s. Even when I was a kid, you remember the old Pepsis and the
you
old...
got a cap on one of those.
Right. And it's...
Oh, there's a rarity.
Now, like this Florida's bottle here, let me see if I can find a date on that one. The Florida's bottles is from 1950 to 1954. Texan is from 1949, well, actually 1942 to 1944.
You go rummaging around looking for this stuff, or do people sell
I
them
go
to you?
to estate sales.
Estate sales.
I go to
Ah,
estate sales. I go to flea markets and garage sales and all kinds of stuff. And
If you got a bunch of old bottles, call him up.
That's what I said. I was going to have him look at mine because I've got a bunch of them, but I packed them all up, so I can't find them.
Well, that's going nowhere then.
And like I said, it's friends across the country that help and keep the interest up, because I have a friend in Colorado that they came, some lady out there and in a garage sale had passed some of the triangle bottles from pre-Prohibition. Prohibition. And you ask yourself, what are El Paso bottles doing in Colorado? And
They went on vacation.
Exactly. But unfortunately, which is good news, they're coming back to where they started. They're coming home.
Andrew's got something in there. What do you got?
Yeah, we actually had a couple more pictures sent to us by Barbara Given Bainey with Remember El Paso Win of the Polk and Dieter company there. A couple of different examples than you had there, Rick. One showing kind of it's the embossed, but it's almost a paneled bottle there if you see it up on screen right there. So a slightly different example than you had there from again Hook and Dieter, and then another one here, kind of that more masonry style as well.
Right. That's those are beautiful. The ones that are shown right now are older, and that style of bottle was around the turn of the century, around early 1800s to about the 1900s. That's Hutch. Those bottles are called Hutches, and they're pretty interesting. All these bottles are hand blown. They weren't machine made. Right into about the 1940s.
By the way, if you're looking at listening to the radio and saying, how are these people showing pictures on the radio? We do it on Facebook, and so that you can go see that. And this is archived on Facebook if you want to go take a look at it, or on youtube.com/El Paso History TV. So there.
Right.
Go on.
I like to reach out. If there's anybody that likes to collect or hasn't really come out to the open, there are other collectors in town that I'd like to mention.
Does anybody do any shows? Like you have your collectible shows and such, and they don't do much anymore, but maybe like the Gem Show or some of those?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, not in El Paso. We used to have a chapter here a long time ago, back in the heyday in the 80s and stuff like that. We had a good 20, 30 strong collectors at one time. But nothing in El Paso, but Albuquerque has a pretty good chapter going on. There's a couple beer clubs, national beer clubs that go on, the BCCA, the Brewery Collectors Club of America, and then there's also the ABA, the ECBA, and now the NABA. They combine.
So there's room for people, if they're still interested in starting to collect, they can go through that. They can contact you, but also do a search on Google for that. So
exactly.
Can you be found on an internet search?
Yes, I can, and also they can be searched. Yeah, matter of fact, they got websites and all that. But if you need any help and any information, feel free to call me. I'll be glad to help.
Throw your number out again. I don't mind doing that.
915-549-9061.
And you also do photography.
Yes, I own a company, Extreme Action Photography Company of El Paso. I do a lot of sports. I was the former official photographer for the Texas versus the Nation All-Star game here in El Paso before it moved.
You're listening to Rich Chavez talk about this stuff. And are we taking a break here yet, Andrew? Are we getting there? Okay, we might as well. And Andrew J. Polk, by the way, who's running the control room, or actually he's running the Facebook, and Monse is running the control room. Thank you very much for that.
Monse.
And also, there you go. They both have a bell, apparently. And Andrew is the talk show host Monday through Friday on KTSM 690, and that's 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And how's that going for you, Andrew?
Going just fine. 4 to 6 p.m. We will take on a lot more subjects about what's going on, kind of the day's news and politics. A lot of focus on elections right now, but that's the current history. Anyway.
Keep the politics over there so we can do history here. You like doing history on Saturday mornings, don't you? It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Right. Taking a break. We'll come back in just a moment. Go ahead.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes to downsizing and selling their home. Patrick Tuttle and his Legacy Home team follow a proven process to help retired homeowners sell faster and for more money. Call Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850 today and get your home sold faster and for more money. That's Patrick Tuttle at 915-588-1850. 1850. Call him today.
El Paso History TV is now available for free on YouTube.com. Take a look at recent ABC 7 news reports by Bernie Sargent on El Paso History TV about Waco tanks, the Franklin Mountains, Concordia Cemetery, and more. The YouTube channel also has more than 100 videos about El Paso history with lectures, documentaries, and various history clips. Go to youtube.com/El Paso History TV and find out how Texas history begins in El Paso. Monterey Asset Management is proud to sponsor the El Paso History Show. If you're tired of the ups and downs of the stock market, maybe you should invest in real estate. Monterey Asset manages apartments in El Paso and helps investors buy, hold, and sell property. See the new website, m1ep.com, m1ep.com. To learn more about the many benefits and long-term appreciation of investing in real estate, call Certified Property Manager Ray Baca, 915-592-4549, 592-4549.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ralph Dickerson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save here in El Paso. Call 915-581-0000 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live with video right here on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com. Our live streaming on Facebook started on November 21st, 2020, with our tribute to Leon Metz, which you can now listen to here on our Facebook page, El Paso History Radio Show. Scroll down our page to find that archive in our videos section. You are listening to a break in our Facebook streaming of the El Paso History Radio Show, which airs live on KTSM AM 690 in El Paso, Texas, and live right here now on our El Paso History Radio Show page on Facebook.com.
Visit Mission Del Rey Southwest for a huge selection of El Paso souvenirs and gifts. Mission Del Rey features El Paso saddle blanket products and thousands of Southwest, Western, Native American, and Mexico items for gifts and decor. Bring your friends and mention you heard us on the radio for a store-wide discount. Mission Del Rey Southwest, 1421 Lee Trevino. Enter on Pelicano. Go to missiondelrey.com or call 915-440-2140 for Mission Del Rey Southwest.
This radio show is now streaming on the Facebook page, Remember in El Paso When, run by Barbara Given Bainey. We still archive the audio of these radio shows on ephistory.com. And you can go there online and find our radio shows for the last several years. Go to ephistory.com and access the El Paso History Radio Show archives for every Saturday radio show back to early 2016.
Many retired El Paso area homeowners don't know where to begin when it comes
We're talking about beer sitting here. We got to talk about on the radio here. Real quick, McGoffin Home State Historic Site, good place to know. Call them up, 533-5147, the only house museum in El Paso. Call them up to operations and events, 915-533-5147.
Heading into Valentine's Day tomorrow, the Sunday, February 13th at 4:30 p.m., you and your sweetie can take a hike on the Sunset Hike route on the upper Sunset Trail. This is a 1.3-mile hike, and if you want to learn more about this, give a call to Diana Moy at 444-915-444-9100, extension 224.
Almost out of time here. Got the clock looking at us here. Mr. Chavez, Rick, tell us what we need to know in the next couple of minutes, and you will be out at Pepe's with a couple of these artifacts, right?
Yes, sir. I will be glad to meet with anybody who wants to come down. I'll be able to answer any questions.
You got a unique hat on.
Yes, sir. This is a gift that was given to me by Richard Waters, one of the family members of Harry Mitchell himself. They had the family reunion, and they had these made up. He gave me this as a memento for helping him and his family in history, and I don't wear it often. I have it in my room. But it was an honor to receive this from the Mitchell family.
Thank you for coming in today. Give us a summary of where we've been.
We've been having a great time here. We covered most El Paso breweries and the history of El Paso breweries, and we touched up on soda companies. But if you have any questions or would like to learn more about these companies, please feel free to contact me. I'm open 24/7, basically, for questions. You can email me, text me, call me. Anyway, I'll set up a meeting. We'll somehow get together.
Fair enough. And your number again, just to find you?
915-549-9100. 9061.
Tell us if you get some calls. Also, you plan to go to Pepe's today and bring some of this stuff with you. So
Yes, sir. I'm getting a little hungry, and I'm going to go try this beautiful, nice food from Pepe's.
Mexican
finally.
food from basically New Mexico.
That's
New
right.
Mexico.
New Mexico cuisine.
New Mexico. Okay, I'm even more enticed.
So you get the bottle history that you've been doing, and a lot of it's beer, but some of it's soft drinks.
Right. Yes, I collect El Paso soft drink. Has to be El Paso soda bottlers.
Right, that's your interest.
Yes, I do collect other Texas breweries. So, Lone Star, Pearl, early ones and stuff like that. Beers that you might recognize, Grand Prize. Of course, there's Falstaff. We had Southern Select. Everybody remembers Hams.
Oh yeah, and Sky Blue Water, wasn't that it?
Blue Water,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes, you can sing the jingle, huh?
Yeah. And even some of the national breweries, early ones like the cans I showed you earlier, Budder and Miller, those are from 1933. It's just a fun thing to do. There's a lot of history involved. And some of the most beautiful advertising comes from El Paso breweries and soda companies.
Oh, yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And if you really want to see a true collection, there is pictures on the internet you can look up and stuff like that. You see the true beauty of some of these collections. My collection is very small due to room space, but some collectors here in town just have beautiful and outstanding collections. Marco Bencomo for one.
Oh yeah.
There's others that just pass my mind right now, but from all across this country, like I said, I have friends in San Antonio. I have some in Washington State and DC and all that, and they are always helping me add to the collection.
Well, Rich Chavez, I really thank you for doing this. When you came to my attention, I had no idea there was this much history going on. But we have stirred up a lot of people out there in Radioland,
Yeah.
obviously.
Well, beer's the
you'll
national
be
drink.
You'll be at Pepe's today. Come on out and have a beer with us. Buy your own beer.
Or a one and only margarita.
Margarita. We're not going to provide it, but I think
No,
you've
get
got
your
some
own.
beer in a case out there that didn't have draft in it. Anyway, Rick, thank you very much for doing this. A very interesting discussion here. And we'll help you get your bottles back out to the car. But it's an amazing part of El Paso. I had no idea was this extensively researched and looked at these days.
It's a beautiful thing to do. Yeah. And there's a lot of historians out there, but I want to personally thank you for having me
Sure.
on your show. And it's a great show, and I'm glad I was part of it.
Thank you
today.
very much for being here. Melissa, we're going to come back here next week and do
Yes,
this
we
again.
will.
We're next week going to have Harry Von Feilich, and we're going to talk about a soldier of fortune. And again, thanks in the control room there, Andrew J. Polk, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Talk El Paso. You got the bell? I knew you did.
Should
Thanks
have
a
had a
lot.
beer can open.
And Monse, thank you, and your assistant for today. Appreciate you, both of you, doing what you do. Rick, we'll see you out there at Pepe's.
Yes, I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Take care. Thanks a lot. But good afternoon. Good, almost afternoon.